So I hate to start the show off this way with bad news, but over the weekend, a old childhood friend of mine passed away after a really long bout with some really nasty cancer. And I just want to dedicate this episode to my friend Apollonio Lee. We called him Apple. He was a good friend. He was a good man. He was a better person than I've ever been or ever will be. And yeah, we are better off for having known you. We are worse off without you. So, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, Serp Squad, please do me a favor. Whatever you got in your cup, man, just raise it up and just help me celebrate. A son, a brother, a father, um, a friend. He was descended from Aztec warriors and Chinatown boss gangs, and his name was Apollonio Lee, and he was my friend.
And now, coming to you live from the tri-state area and San Francisco, California, it's the best part of Wednesday, Waffle Box, with your hosts, Mike Fish and Kush Hayes.
Welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing all at the same time. Coming up on episode 76, Santa Claus is coming to your town and why it might not be such a great thing. We're also talking Golden Globe nominations and Ryan Reynolds' voice of an angel in this week's movie review. I'm Mike Fish and I am joined as always by the main man in San Fran, Mr. Kush Hayes. Kush, how you doing, man?
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here, coming to you the newest edition of the Waffle Box. It's the best part of Wednesdays. It's the original Waffle Box. You accept no substitutions, and yeah, look, having a little difficult adjusting to the tone here. We started off real somber, and now we gotta bring some energy back into. We gotta show everyone why this is the best part of Wednesdays and make it the best Wednesday of all the Wednesdays we've had so far.
Well, I'm maybe I didn't know the chap that you were speaking of, but I'm a big avid believer of, you celebrate the life rather than mourning death. So I'm sure he was a good man, and I'm sure he'd want the party to go on, and people talking good shit about him rather than crying. Would I be correct in that? Assumination,
Yes.
assumination.
Well, there's already been a lot of tears. There's going to be a lot more tears. Hopefully, we get through the episode without any of those. But I've been sharing this story with everyone, so I'll share it with you, Mike Fish. Once upon a time, me and my friend Apple, his oldest brother was dating this girl, and their family went out of town as they do every summer. And he was 18, 19, barely just an adult. And they left him in charge of the house. And sure enough, he had all of his friends come over, and we drank all their booze, and we ate all their food, and we watched Richard Pryor tapes late at night. And Apple found the old man's weed stash,
Ooh.
which this is 1995, 1996. So we just assumed it's from the 60s, but it could have been from like a year ago. It could have been from 10 years ago. Who knows?
Could have been a week.
Could have been from that week even. Yeah, it was never brought up, but we smoked all of it. And at one point we had one of many barbecues in the backyard and had a couple Pabst Blue Ribbons under our belts. And for whatever reason, I just thought like it'd be really funny right now to push Apple into this chair over here. And so I did. And I don't know if he like bonked his head against the wall or like hurt his back or whatever, but it was the most appropriate response. And he met me with a kick to the chest, a la Kareem Abdul-Jabbar from Game of Death, which sent me flying across the backyard. And we all had a great laugh about it, and still have.
Fun times.
Yeah, man, good times.
You did put his dad into that awkward position because I'm sure when he came home, maybe one day, that day, or whenever he came back, or after a stressful day at the
future
office.
future father-in-law. No.
Oh, okay. But still, I'm sure he came home one day after a stressful day at the office. So, do you know what? I'm gonna break out that weed. Oh yeah, baby. And he went there, and it was empty. And then he was in this awkward position where it's like, I'm angry, but I can't say anything because then that admits that I had weed. So is that probably
It
that
makes it feel.
awkward, like they probably made eye contact every now and again, like, I know what you did. You know I know what you did. But we never speak of this.
If it makes you feel better, after I started dating his younger daughter, I would smoke him out every opportunity he requested. So it was. I feel like I feel like we're even, Steven.
Oh, so you gave him over the years, you gave him back the weed that you stole.
Yeah. Over the year, yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's everything is in balance again for the karmic world.
Mm-hmm.
But what else? Other than that, what have you been up to in the universe over the past 7 days?
Well, like I said, man, we worked a very important NBA Finals rematch. The Boston Celtics came to San Francisco to face the Golden State Warriors, and it was a good game. So it's a long set of days, but it was a really good game, and yeah, I felt really good for being there. And man, I'm blessed to just have the job I have, get the gigs that I get, and to work with the people I do work with, man. Like working with other people who enjoy what they're doing, if not or as much or more than you do, it really makes a difference, dude. Like it just a 17-hour day is a crap. It's a breeze. Hmm.
Sorry, just said hello on my desk there.
That's okay. That's okay.
But that's all the sports talk we'll have on this week's Waffle Box. Good. Don't want to talk about the World
Oh
Cup.
yeah,
The
your
World
World
Cup.
Cup. You had a bad
Jesus.
day at the World Cup office, didn't you? Did
Oh,
did
I had a whole. That was a
did some
whole thing.
Frenchmen did some Frenchmen upset you? Did some
Well, not only just the Frenchman, but the bloody Englishman, Harry Kane, who decided, you know what? I'm going to be the first person to launch a soccer ball into orbit. And rather than
Oh.
scoring the penalty kick that England were awarded to tie the game, he decided to launch it into the stratosphere, thus cementing the loss. And then it kind of fades, and then this kind of fades into the first thing I want to talk about, because my day was made even worse because not only was I in a crowded bar full of people that couldn't give two shits about England, because it was like me and two other English people in this whole bar, but just to make things worse, as I look around this crowded bar, I'm surrounded by morons dressed as Santa Claus, because this Saturday was also SantaCon in New York.
Yeah, SantaCon needs to go away. We have it here in San Francisco as well. I must have if it didn't happen last weekend, it must be coming up then, because I haven't, thankfully haven't seen any Santas, period, let alone SantaCon members. But
You're
yeah,
lucky.
that shit is just, it's dumb.
It's dumb. I love Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I adore Christmas. It's my favorite time of the year, even though the weather's kind of shitty. But it's colorful. It's celebratory.
Weather outside is frightful.
It's everyone's being happy. Where I grew up, miserable town.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was miserable to each other. No one spoke to each other on the street. If you made eye contact with someone on the street, people were like, "What the hell was wrong with this guy?" But Christmas Eve, when you'd go out to the local watering hole to enjoy a couple, just a couple, cheeky, it's what Jesus would have wanted. But then you'd walk home, and suddenly every staggering person you'd come across would wish you a Merry Christmas. And it was all suddenly the one night of the year where the whole town was just a little bit happier. So it always has a little, nice memory in my brain box. But SantaCon is not it. Like, especially around here, right? Because you've got a lot of hipsters around here, in the city, as they like to call it. And it's like, they think they're the most cleverest person in the world. Like, no, I'm not giving you credit because you decided to dress up like Santa Claus on the one day where it's been designated where everyone can dress like Santa Claus at an event called SantaCon. Gee, where did you come up with the crazy idea to dress like Santa Claus on this day? If I saw someone walking around in June dressed as Santa Claus, then maybe I'd be like, oh, look at this crazy guy. I want to get to know this crazy guy. But on SantaCon, You're obnoxious. Get out of my face.
It also, for some reason, gives people the idea that like I need to get stupid wasted on this day. Like it's up there with St. Patrick's Day, Cinco de Mayo, and even 420 now, even though that is weed related. But still, like people are like, yeah, this one day, like I mean, you just drink any day, man. Like I do it all the time, but for some reason you're like, I'm gonna drink 3 times my body weight and nothing bad's gonna happen. You're wrong. Everything's bad, especially when you're dressed as Santa Claus and you're fucking drunk.
And then suddenly you're like, I've lost my wallet. I've lost my keys. I lost my phone. Oh my God.
Mm.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
The last SantaCon I was had the misfortune of witnessing was 2019, so it was just pre-pandemic, and sure, again, it's San Francisco, so some jerk off was just had a Santa hat on and nothing else, maybe a pair of shoes, but literally
Literally nothing else.
just wandering the streets of San Francisco naked. I mean, it happens here. There's usually a naked guy or two, but it's just like Christmas is ruined now. Thank you.
He could at least have got a smaller Christmas hat to put on his Johnson. At least that would have been creative.
It could have been, or maybe he lost it down the street. I don't know, but yeah, just Santa hat, shoes. That's it.
If you probably wandered around the corner, you'd probably find some poor inebriated young lady choking on a Santa hat.
Oh my goodness,
Sorry, no.
Mike,
We didn't
behave.
Palacio joke 12 minutes in. Jesus Christ. But you know, that kind of thing, just not like like you mentioned 420. That's another thing. I don't care. If you want to smoke weed, if you want to get high, it's great. I'm happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird. Like I have friends that smoke weed on the regular. I'm happy for them, especially because now it's legalized over in this area. You know,
Mm-hmm.
now I have company. You know, when I go for a cigarette, they go out, maybe take a hit or two. You know, a little bit of company. It's nice. But then they start celebrate 420. Like, oh, what are you going to do to celebrate 420? Oh, the same thing you do every day. Cool. I don't care. Stop talking about it.
Yeah.
I was hoping once it got legalized in New Jersey that suddenly that kind of thing would go away. But no.
No, it became
Anything
a
got worse.
huge commercial thing and made it worse. Like 420 during Prohibition era was, it was about rebellion. It was about like, we're gonna stand up to the man and we're gonna smoke this doobie right in front of this cop, and he's not gonna do a thing about it because we outnumber him 10-1. And then it became legal and just everyone had their hands out. So
In fact, why let's create our
and
own
you
holiday.
sheep will eat it up.
Real quick, ask your good friend Alexa.
Yeah.
What day Prohibition ended in America?
For booze?
Yeah, for booze. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna create my own boozy holiday. I want to create my own version of 420. And it's gonna be magic. I hope it's not summer in the winter. Please let it be warm when I can celebrate alcohol. Give me good news, Alexa. Is she gonna say? Is she keeping it secret? You have to unmute your mic, mate.
I'm gonna have to go to the actual Google for this. She gave an answer. I couldn't hear it, and I definitely can't read it from here. So let's move on to the next subject, and I'll get you an answer momentarily.
Tenterhooks. What a cliffhanger. Anyway, that's that. That's my grumpy bar humbug Grinch moment of the week. Get it out in the system since we have got a what?
I don't think this is you being a bah humbug Grinch kind of guy. Like those guys are fucking obnoxious and like they make everyone's night worse. This is not you being the get off my lawn guy. By the way, the get off my lawn guy gets a bad rap because guess what? Guess what? No one has ever said. Ooh, a bunch of strangers on my lawn. Nothing bad could come from this.
Let's grab the chairs. Let's have a party.
Yeah.
Speaking of parties, there's a party coming up pretty soon. Actually, not pretty soon. I think it's when the Golden Globes. You're the movie guy. You know that. Is it January or February? It's before the Oscars, right?
It's usually a month before the Oscars or a couple of weeks. Prohibition ended December 5th, 1933. So we just missed it.
1933.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. I knew it was going to be
We
winter.
just missed the 89th anniversary of the end of Prohibition, which went from January 17th, 1920 to the aforementioned date. It also enacted the 21st Amendment to the United States Constitution.
Well, there you go, folks. You're learning here. I was really hoping that Prohibition ended in like July, so I could actually go out. But no, December 5th.
Well, that's what 4th of July is for.
I guess. But that was like I'm not celebrating 4th of July. God damn bastards. Anyway. Anyway. I always like to get my red coat out on that day. Hey. Golden Globes.
Right. Golden Globes.
Golden Globe nominations have come out.
I was a little surprised you wanted to talk about this today. I did not even know that the nominations had come out when you brought it up. So yeah, man, hit me. What's on your mind?
The reason I wanted to bring it up because I'm sitting there at my computer during the workday, and quite frankly, I'm looking for any excuse to not do what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm perusing the internet and I see Golden Globe nominations of it. I was like, oh, I'll take a look, even though I probably have no idea half of these movies. And I was not disappointed. But nominations for the best motion picture. Now, this is a big stickler thing of mine. Why is there two categories for best motion picture? One for musical or comedy, and then another one for drama. Why can't it just be best movie? It's dumb.
Yeah.
But
so this is the Golden Globes. This is run by the Hollywood Foreign Press Exchange. Okay, this is just every foreign press outlet. Like, what's the whole local paper home in the UK for you?
There's many. Like, there's probably mostly tabloids. So like the Sun, the Mirror.
Okay, we'll say the
Times.
Sun. So the Sun has an office in the UK. They send someone to the United States, to Los Angeles specifically, and that sole person's job is to cover movies for the Sun because the movies are in fucking Los Angeles. So, anyways, there's only about 80 of them, maybe under 90, as opposed to the thousands and thousands of members of the Academy that you're used to thinking about. So it's these 80 people, they get together and it's their opinion solely. So they come up with these nominations, they come up with these weird categories, and quite honestly, like, they should just be more open about it. This award is really about these people, these 80 people, just hanging out with hopefully Tom Cruise because Top Gun Maverick is nominated, or Babylon. So they would like to hang out with one Margot Robbie. Glass Onion is another one. So they hope Daniel Craig will come to the party, drink all their booze, maybe make a couple jokes on the telly, and then they get to party with them after the show. That's the whole point of the Golden Globes. Dave Bautista, I'd be surprised if he even got nominated, to be honest.
Well, the problem is, if you want to party with Dave Bautista, it's very hard because, as we all know, he walks alone.
Oh, that was very funny.
Love Dave Bautista. But yeah, nominations for best motion picture drama. Ooh, scandalous. Top Gun Maverick. I heard that was a very good movie. Tar. Oh, sure, why not?
Tar is a movie with Cate Blanchett about being a female conductor who I'm sure is going through torment and misery and spirals into decay mentally. The trailer looked very fascinating, but I never got a chance to see it.
As in like an orchestra conductor or a train conductor?
Yes, orchestra conductor. Thank you for clarifying.
That would have been more fun though. Cate Blanchett going down. Tickets.
I'm gonna ram it.
Get your tickets out. The Fablemans. No idea.
That's a Steven Spielberg movie that's now on Apple TV Plus, I believe. If it isn't, it will be. But it's and it's basically the story of his life, how he grew up, how he got into movies, but it's the Fablemans.
Elvis. Now I have seen that one.
Mm-hmm.
That was a
Elvis
good
is
movie.
all right.
That was a good movie.
Elvis was fun. I enjoyed the visuals.
And then the last nomination in
Mm-hmm.
Best Motion Picture Drama. Ooh. Avatar: The Way of Water.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, these people who want to hang out with celebrities have probably seen this movie. They got the pre-screenings and all that good stuff.
Indeed.
But I have an issue, even though it's none of our business, because it's a closed party, as we discussed. The fact that a movie can get nominated as one of the best movies of the year before it's even released to the general public.
Yeah.
That's horseshit, if you ask me. I know you're not.
This one is a little twitchy because normally in these cases where you think that's what has happened, like 2 theaters in Los Angeles and 2 theaters up in New York will have played it for a weekend, and that's all you need to qualify to be nominated for at least an Oscar. But yeah, Avatar 2 does not come out before this tomorrow night. Today is Wednesday. It comes out tomorrow night. I got tickets. We're going to do a review for it next week here on the Waffle Box pod. But yeah, it didn't even have that four theater release. Like it's a little hairy, but again, this is just 80 people's opinion, and they want to hang out with Jimmy Cameron, and yeah, they probably got to see Avatar first, but yeah.
Like, let's be honest.
But it happens every year. It happens every year.
Because of the hype around it and because of who's in it and who's directing it, before anyone, even the most behind the scenes person, before they even saw this, they knew they were going to nominate this movie because of the hype. Right? That's my tinfoil hat moment. It's on.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a moneymaker, and they want to capsize on. They want the name. They want the Golden Globes to be associated with the movie Avatar.
Ask me. It's taken the reputation of the Golden Globes, which is incredibly low, to be fair, and soiled it. Does anyone really care about the Golden Globes? That's the one that Ricky Gervais used to host?
Not
right?
really.
And made it, or yeah, that was the Golden Globes, right?
Gervais did host. I think he hosted a couple of them.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's
This
the
is
ones that were
the
really good.
award ceremony that didn't get broadcast last year.
Oh yeah,
because of it got temporarily canceled. I'm not sure if it's actually getting broadcast again this year. They still had a ceremony, but like at 7:05, they just Twitter bombed their tweet thread and just went like, "Here are all the winners," and that was the Golden Globe ceremony last year.
Should keep it like that, or just have just Morgan Freeman in front of a green screen, just announcing all the winners in like a 20-minute video. That'd be great. I'd watch that.
They also have extra added controversy. Apparently, I believe he's no longer a part of the Foreign Hollywood Press, but the former president or CEO of the Foreign Hollywood Press apparently groped Brendan Fraser's balls like a decade ago. So Brendan Fraser is already boycotting it, despite the fact that him and his movie are both nominated for awards this year.
Well, that means he's not going to win it.
No, he could definitely win it, but he won't be there.
Or maybe they'll just let him win it so they look good. So no, even though he boycotted our party,
I mean, it happens.
Still let him win.
Some people boycott. Some people just can't make the awards show for whatever reason. But if they're not there, they still win it. It happens. So,
do you know that would make it more? Do you know what would make it more fun? These award shows, right?
What's that?
Right, when they get the envelope, and the winner is Tom Cruise for Top Gun Maverick, and then they start a clock, and he has 20 seconds to get to the stage. If he doesn't make it, sorry. Next one, they do a drawing, random drawing. Oh, the actual winner now is, and they have 20 seconds. It'd be more fun. Like, everyone's just running.
Idris Elba, who wasn't even nominated for anything. Why not? Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned Tom Cruise.
Get to the stage. Get to the stage. Get my award. So much more fun.
Tom Cruise is probably not going to be at this year's award show either, because he sent them back all of his previous Golden Globe winnings.
Why?
Due to whatever controversy was happening at the time.
See,
There's so many controversies, folks. I can't keep track of them all.
If you were that incensed by what's going on in the Hollywood foreign press and you wanted to return all your Golden Globes, what would be really fun to do, and if you really wanted to stick it to him, melt down the awards and then get like just a giant penis made out of them and then send that back.
I didn't see that coming. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
So I think so. I know this is a thing with the Oscars. So if you ever get into a position where you're financially in hard times, let's just say you still love the Academy of Motion Arts and Pictures and of Sciences and blah blah blah. If you won an Oscar, you can't just pawn it. You can't put it on eBay. You can't make $10,000 off of it. If you want to sell your Oscar, you have to offer it back to the Academy for the sole price of $1 single.
Is that a legal thing? Do they have to sign that?
That's a thing they sign or they agree to or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, but that's definitely a thing with the Oscars. So I would imagine the foreign press is trying to also piggyback and pick up the same habits and just go like, yeah, don't melt our shit, bro.
Don't melt our shit. Before we move on, the only ones I got other down: best motion picture, musical, or comedy.
That's always bugged me, that musical or comedy. Like,
why is musical?
There's usually like
something together.
There's usually 2 musicals a year. Like and I know there's a lot less comedies than there used to be, but god damn it! Like, again, Babylon isn't even out yet. The Banshees of Inisherin, I never heard of it, but I can probably rent it on iTunes. I think Triangle of Sadness, I heard, was dog shit.
It sounds like a horrible movie.
It sounds
hey,
like a sad movie.
Hey guys, should we get to? What are you doing Friday night? Yeah, should we get together, have a couple of beers, and go see the Triangle of Sadness? Yeah, come on, let's go.
I know people actually did that though.
Boys' night.
Yeah, Knives Out 2. Knives Out 2 is very good, but
I can't wait for
Everything
that to come out on
Everywhere
Netflix.
All at Once.
That was good.
Is the one that'll win. That's the one that's going to win that award. If that doesn't win, that would be weird.
In true Kush Hayes style, though, I do believe that movie went on a little bit too long, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little long. I forget how long it was, but I'm pretty sure my notes, I went like, yeah, I'd like it to be like 15 minutes shorter, maybe, please. I get it. World's infinite, but we don't need to spend the runtime on infinite.
It's these damn streaming services, they're ruining everything. But anyway, just a quick spoiler alert, and just to break Kush's heart, he did kind of allude to the fact that he was going to be reviewing Avatar next week, but he won't be doing that because because next week's our Christmas crossover special with the Not a Strong Start guys. We can't talk about Avatar at a Christmas party. Jesus Christ!
Sure we can.
No,
I talk about movies at every party I go to.
We'll come up with something else. But yeah, so spoiler alert, next Wednesday, the Christmas crossover special with Waffle Box and Not a Strong Start. So we'll be 5 people.
I am looking forward to this. Our first time we've had guests on, and they're really good dudes. They've been on the Microdose before. They've been on Mike. I believe you've been on their show once upon a time. Like,
nope.
They you had them on one of your shows.
Sort of. We kind of had a side project going, but yeah. It'd be a fun time. But as the spoiler alert, it's probably going to be a lot of talking over each other. 5 people on a Zoom call. It's never good.
I think
But,
we can do it. I think we can. I think we can make it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
yeah, so if you want to check out their podcast, Not a Strong Start. So next week it's a true crossover. So we're gonna have some of our segments, some of their segments. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So check that out. I was gonna give you a link, but if you're already listening to the show, you know where to find the show. So just come back next week. It'll be fun. Oh, speaking of other
Come back
fun
next week, guys.
things,
So like, subscribe, ring that bell,
ding ding,
Ding,
and
ding.
tell your friends to listen to the show.
And ask your mama.
Wrapping up the first half of this week's show, as we always do, we're talking about people achieving things, doing something with their lives, breaking world records in this week's Dumb World Record of the Week.
Why?
Why? Why would I? Why? Why?
Why? Why? Why? Why? Why would you want to do that?
Why indeed, Polka? This week's Dumb World Records takes us to Malaysia.
Where all the champions.
Oh, where a young
Malaysia
lad named Lim Kai Yi of Butterworth took the world record for the fastest time to assemble a Mr. Potato Head.
What?
Yeah. So
right.
Lim Kai Yi of Butterworth took on the record for fastest time to assemble Mr. Potato Head, which requires applicants to start with a fully disassembled toy and then add the feet, at the arms, face, hat to the plastic potato. He completed this in 5.43 seconds. Wow. Which then just shocked me when it said he actually beat the previous Guinness World Record of 5.69 seconds set in December. Set in December of 2021 by British teenager Matilda Walden. So the craziness is that this person broke this world record, and the second part is, wait, someone else did this as well? Good Lord. And I just hope
what is the age gap between Matilda and this gentleman? Because I feel like Matilda's a 12-year-old girl and this gentleman's like 42.
That's what's that. The fact that it had to specify that it was a British teenager leads me to believe that, yeah, this person's probably young girl, 14, bragging to her friends at school, look at me, I'm a Guinness World Record holder. And then literally a year later, she comes home from school and her parents are there. Matilda, come sit down. We have to tell you something. What is it, Mama? What is it, Papa? Look, we know you're very happy that you're a Guinness World Record. I know. I show all of my friends my certificate. Well, Matilda, what is it, Mama? Some cunt in Malaysia just broke your world record. What? I burn it. Burn that certificate. It's useless now. I hope you're happy. Lim Kai Yi. You dasher of dreams. Swine. But congratulations. Of what?
Like
making
children.
Making your dream, like two dreams. Yeah, I'm really good at assembling Mr. Potato Heads, and I really like upsetting teenage children. You scumbag.
Back in 1983, I was like 4 going on 5. We went to Des Moines, Iowa to help my grandmother pack up so she could move out here to San Francisco. And Grandma gave me a bag of metal parts that were Mr. Potato Head. But
Ooh.
Mr. Potato Head wasn't a plastic shell. It required you to have an actual potato. And then like there was this, it's a metal nose, you stick it in, metal eyes, you stick it in, metal mouth, you stick it in, and that's Mr. Potato Head all of a sudden. And it was like, this is I don't like Mr. Potato Head now. Like,
And then you get to know Mr. Potato Head. You know, you have chats with him.
Eat him.
And then the next day, like a cannibal or something, like, oh, what's for dinner? Mr. Potato Head.
Mashed potato head.
Oh, that's no way to get children to eat their vegetables.
You also believe a potato is a vegetable. Thank you. I've been saying this forever. God
Wait, is it
damn
not?
Like, it's a starch, apparently. No, it comes out of the fucking ground. You grow a potato. It's a fucking vegetable. Mike Fish, thank you. High fucking five, dude. Gosh damn.
A starch? I've never even heard. I know what starch is. I know you get starch from potato. But I've never heard. What other things are starch other than potatoes?
Like quinoa, shit like that. We get into that. That's another time. We get into that's a whole other thing.
Oh, that's made me angry. Yeah, potatoes are vegetable.
Very angry tonight. You're very angry tonight.
I know it's still coming over from the weekend. You know, England losing on Saturday, Giants losing on Sunday, the Devils losing on Monday. It's just been a horrible.
Oh my god,
few days.
Ooh.
Thank God for alcohol.
Well, thank you for coming into the office tonight. We appreciate that.
Okay. Yeah, it's a long drive, but it's a long drive that I'm happy to make.
I understand. Thank you.
Anyway, still to come on episode 76 of Waffle Box. We're getting into the Christmas spirit as we discuss the angelic voices of William Ferrell and Mr. Ryan Reynolds in this week's movie review. Plus the trapdoor, we're up to the letter J, my gosh, which that's how you spell jingle. And so much more. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after this short break.
Potato waffles, they're awfully versatile. They go with cheese, chili, chicken, burgers, fish fingers, the fish fingers, eggs, eel, egg salad, bacon, lamb chop. They're real potato waffles. Potato waffles, they're awfully versatile.
It's now time for the middle of the show quiz.
Hey, welcome back to Waffle Box episode 76. Still to come. We're entering the trapdoor as we move to the letter J. Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell sing their bloody arts out in this week's movie review and so much more. But it is the middle of the show quiz, so it's now time for the middle of the show quiz. This week, since we are talking about Spirited, which is an adaptation of the Christmas Carol, as we all know. That's what the theme is for this week's middle of the show quiz. If this is the first time joining us, what the middle of the show quiz is, I ask Kush Hayes 5 questions, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5 questions about the subject. If he gets a question right, he hears this noise, and that makes him happy. If he gets a question wrong, he hears this noise, and that makes him very sad little boy. Obviously, the aim of the game is to get at least 3 out of 5. 5 out of 5 is even better. But here we go. Are you ready, Mr. Hayes?
I'm ready, Mr. Fish.
Let the quiz begin. So question number 1. You're right there with the what you got your hand to your ear for?
No, I'm waiting to hear your question.
Oh,
I'm focusing.
Okay, he's focused. Question number 1. Who wrote the novel A Christmas Carol?
Chuck Dixon.
What?
Charles Dickens.
I thought you said Chuck Dixie. I was like, who the fuck is Chuck Dixie? But Charles Dickens, correct. Question number 2. Now we're getting a little bit harder now. In what year was the first adaptation of Charles Dickens' novel released? What year was the first adaptation released?
1916.
Ooh. It's actually
That was a hard one. That was a hard
It was
one.
a hard one. That's what she did. 1901. A short British film named Scrooge or Marley's Ghost. I don't know who Marley was, but
Molly's. Oh, Molly was Scrooge's wife.
oh, so was it? It was clearly Scrooge. Whatever.
There's a whole scene where, like, you know, he had a woman and they were in love and blah, and then he you know, fucked off. So anyway, Molly. I get that reference.
Scrooge and Marley.
I was gonna say 1896 was my second guess. So wow, still.
Question number 3. What was the name of the earliest animated adaptation of the novel? It might be a
Christmas
character.
Carol. Oh,
That was the
Mickey's
name of-
Christmas Carol.
It released in 1962 was Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol. Yeah.
Magoo had the first one. Wow.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't think it was Mickey, but when you something about the way you flexed on me there, I was like, oh, maybe it's Mickey Mouse. Mr. Magoo. Wow.
Magoo.
I'm not even sure I've seen a Mr. Magoo cartoon, but I know
I'm familiar with the name, but
Mhm.
I don't know. Question number 4.
Number 4.
Name the Scrooge-like character played by Bill Murray in 1988's movie Scrooged.
Lumpy.
Whoa, you crackled out there, but it might be for the best. What was your answer?
Lumpy.
Wasn't that his nickname?
That was his nickname.
Oh,
You have to give me half a point.
I'll give you
I
that
don't
one.
remember
I'll
his
give you that one. It's Frank Cross.
Frank Cross.
But yes, his
yeah, I would have
name
said
was
Frank
Lumpy.
Grimes if I even thought it was Frank. But
Frank Grimes. That
Lumpy.
was Simpsons. Oh, Grimy.
Oh,
So it's 2-2. 2 and 2. We come down to tense, fifth, and final question.
oh, you gave me a full point for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
I mean, yeah, it's good knowledge to know his nickname. So, question number 5, the final question.
Number 5. This is it. Tiebreaker.
But we're still sticking with Scrooged.
Okay.
So
Burgess
David Johansen, who played the ghost of Christmas Past in Scrooged, was the founding member of which seminal
The New York Dolls.
proto-punk band New York Dolls for the win?
You win.
Woo! In the spirit, look at that. I'm surprised you got that one straight away. Are you a big New York Dolls fan?
I just for some reason have that detail locked in my head. I was like, is he gonna ask me if his name is Buster Poindexter? But no, it was
That was his little other name, wasn't it?
Yes. Like he's
I was actually gonna put that as the question, but I thought that was too vague. But check out the big brain on Brad. Not that I have a list of any other ones, but he might be, because I've seen many versions of the Christmas Carol. He may be my favorite Ghost of Christmas Past. He was fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
The old crazy cab driver. I might try to watch that. Should watch that. See if I can find it.
Have you ever seen Car 54? Where are you? It was in that time of the 90s where they're remaking old TV sitcoms from the 50s and 60s as movies, whether they were dramas or comedies or etc. But he is very funny in that. It's not a good movie, but he is very funny in it. But he's been in other movies in between all that other shit too. But that's David Johansen front and center.
And I was glad to find out he's still alive. So shout out to him.
Oh, right on, man. Yeah, I appreciate that too.
Speaking of celebrities that are alive, but maybe not for much longer, because they're about to enter the trapdoor.
Oh shit! Now I need my pack. Here we go.
Shit got real. It's a trapdoor segment for those joining us.
Trapdoors are real.
Trapdoor's real, man. Basically, the premise here is that the world is overpopulated. My God, there's over 8 billion people on it. We need to make it less than that so we can breathe and eat and do that stuff. So what I do here, I give Kush Hayes 4 celebrities, and he has to decide which one of those has had too much time on this goddamn planet and gets sent down the trapdoor and out of existence. His decision, his alone, but he must show his workings. We normally work our way through the alphabet, and this week we stop off at the letter J. So, J. The 4 celebrities this week are Jennifer Aniston, Jackie Chan,
How dare you?
John Cena, or Julia Roberts. So for those playing along at home, I will repeat. Jennifer Aniston, Jackie Chan, John Cena, or Julia Roberts.
This is a really hard one, Mike Fish. Like,
Jeez,
I commend you
God,
on
we're
this
on
one.
fire It's like the 3rd time we've done it this week.
Yeah,
That's what
we got to keep it to rule of 3. We got to keep it to rule of 3.
Oh, I just did the 4th.
But yeah, man, wow, this is so Jackie Chan's going nowhere. All right, I'm telling you that right now, point blank. Like Jackie Chan's
He's
not
got
going
another Rush Hour film
for him and Tom Cruise do a movie together. Before that happens, they ain't going nowhere. So, but that leaves us with Jennifer Aniston, John Cena, and Julia Roberts. You know, Julia Roberts was America's sweetheart, and she's a very talented actress. But I don't know. I know she was in a movie just recently, but it was also like, so what? Who cares? What have you done lately? I don't know.
Wasn't she Notting Hill as well? She was good in that.
In what?
Notting Hill.
Nodding. You know, I have not seen that. That's the Hugh Grant movie, right?
It is. It's not bad. It's not as good as a lot of people say, but it's not a bad movie. Also, do you know what made me giggle? So there's a guy in it now. I wish I could remember the guy's name, but I can't remember his name. But he's like Hugh Grant's wacky roommate, best friend guy, and he's super crazy and wacky. Look at me, blah, 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 blah. And then he would later fast forward. He is very British. Oh no, well, yes, he is. I think he's Welsh, but British still. It's still British. But he would later go on many decades later to star in House of Dragon as a very villainous character. And after we watched House of Dragon, one day, wifey was watching Notting Hill, and I was like, "You know who that guy is? He's that guy in House of Dragon." She was, "What?" Blew her little mind, bless her. Anyway, that's Julia Roberts.
Are we talking about Reese Ifans?
Yes, that's the Welsh fella.
He's just got like blonde hair, and this dude is only blonde hair and bones.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I only guessed because you said House of the Dragon, and you said he was a Targaryen. So I was like, yeah, so they probably didn't have a hard time bleaching his hair further. So all right, yeah, yeah, I don't have a problem with romantic comedies, but for whatever reason, I think it's just an age thing. Like when they came out is what I'm talking about. Like I haven't seen anything of Hugh Grant before his San Francisco law problems.
Why did he?
That's all I'm going to say, because he's still a good dude. He's a good actor. Everything I've seen him in, he fucking kills it in. I can't imagine he'd be bad in anything else that I haven't seen. But yeah, that's my Hugh Grant story.
He was very good at very nervously talking to beautiful ladies and blinking a lot. And my gosh, that just made him very, very charming, apparently. Oh my gosh. Every fucking movie,
earliest
he was the same character.
my earliest Hugh Grant memory, as opposed to Hugh Jackman, my earliest Hugh Grant memory is
Very
the
different
Mickey
people.
Blue Eyes trailer, where him and Jimmy
Yes.
Kahn are going back and forth and like, forget about it, 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 forget about it. Like, yeah, that thing is burrowed into my brain. I still haven't seen the movie, but that scene is just forever there.
That scene always reminds me of the Simpsons bit where it's like up and atom, up and at them.
Up and Adam. Yes.
No, up and atom.
Up and Adam.
Up and at them.
Up and Adam.
Great scene. Great scene. Anyway.
Oh.
So that's been
I would
5
like
minutes
to
talking
say
about
we're
someone that's
gonna get
not in
rid of
this
John
bloody
Cena.
trapdoor.
I would like to say we're going to get rid of John Cena, but quite frankly, you can't see him. So
No,
he's
how would
snuck
you know?
away. Oh my. So this breaks it down really between Jennifer Aniston and Julia Roberts. And you know what, man?
Why do you hate women, Kush? Oh.
Why do I hate? I don't hate women, but these two women.
Just these two women.
I can't pick. I can't pick. Like my world would not change if I lost a Julia Roberts or a Jennifer Aniston. Like Jennifer Aniston, very beautiful.
My teenage
Julia
years would have
Roberts,
changed if I lost
very
to Jennifer
beautiful.
Aniston.
Oh, fascinating. Fascinating. So we're bringing out the quarter. It's here. It's heads
Water
is
of
Jennifer
fate.
Aniston. Oh dear. That doesn't count.
Brilliant.
Heads is Jennifer Aniston. Tails is Julia Roberts. Call it in the air, Mike Fish.
Wait, no, what? That doesn't make sense. Why would I? If you've already nominated which one's which, what does me calling one do?
Mm. It is Tails.
Do you know how heads or tails works?
You be quiet. It is Tails.
So who's dead?
And that means Julia Roberts is no longer with us.
Very well, Julia Roberts.
Yeah, this was a hard one. Like,
you were a pretty woman, but you are a pretty woman no more.
This is the second week in a row we had to go to the coin of fate. So good on you, Mike Fish. This was a hard one.
She said, "Oh,
I ain't mad at that."
Oh, that was good. That was good. Poor. I feel I feel like we might have to like limit you on this coin of fate thing. It's kind of taken away from this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you might maybe like you get like once you use it, we might have to like make a rule where you can't use it for like 3 weeks or something like that. So use it wisely. Maybe we'll think about it. Maybe in
3 weeks would be nice. That'd be nice. I was thinking like maybe just only 4 times a year, but a 3-week gap before I can use it again. Like, yeah, that might help a lot. Like, because I'm not going to use it again 3 weeks later, not necessarily, but we'll talk after the show.
Anyway, let's talk about movies. Since we talk about musicals, not many musicals come out. There has been one come out, and how the bloody hell this one didn't get nominated for a Golden Globe since it's been out.
Yeah,
not like Avatar. Anyway, it's time to talk about Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds singing their bloody hearts out this Christmas time. This week's Kush's movie review.
Kush's movie review.
Oh, Spirited. If you haven't heard or guessed, on Apple TV Plus. Again, I don't know. Is it Apple TV or Apple TV Plus? Apple TV.
Apple TV Plus.
Why not? Because it's too wordy.
Right. So Apple TV is the box, and Apple TV Plus is the service. And you don't need the box anymore to use the service.
No, because I haven't got a bloody box. I've got a Roku. But I think I have mentioned this before, but I still find it very incredibly stupid and almost, a little bit offensive, quite frankly, to demeaning to my intelligence, that whenever they advertise any of this shit, they always say exclusively on Apple TV Plus from Apple. So, I was I was wondering who created Apple TV Plus. Thanks. Anyway, away you go. Off you pop.
We're talking about Spirited. Came out this year, 2022. It is 2 hours and 7 minutes long. It is PG-13, despite not really having a theatrical run. I ended up seeing it because I don't have a subscription to the Apple TV Plus. I ended up seeing it as part of Regal's Monday Movie Mystery Night, which they've only done 2 of now. We talked about the first one, the greatest beer run ever. So this is the second one. This was a few weeks ago. I was not necessarily expecting a Christmas movie, but was delighted to see it post or pre-Thanksgiving. Excuse me. This stars Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds, and Octavia Spencer, and it is written and directed by a man named Sean Anders. He's got a body of this. The dude's works. He's done a lot of Mark Wahlberg movies, but the earliest movie that I've seen was a 2008 comedy called Sex Drive with James Marshall. It's actually delightful. Did you see the Sex Drive?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Did you see Daddy's Home 1 or 2, which also had Will Ferrell and the aforementioned Mark Wahlberg?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't see
and
either
the
of those.
second one was marvelous because it had John Lithgow and the guy who is probably Kanye West's best friend at this point. That's neither here nor there.
That would be. I want to see a TV show where Mel Gibson and Kanye West hang out.
No, I don't, because it'd just be like, oh, what have the Jews been up to this time?
That could be an interesting conversation too. But anyway, we're not talking about that. This is
their TED talk would be frightening.
Probably. Yeah, probably. So, like I said, this is a full-on musical. They don't have like 2 or 3 numbers. Like, it's nearly wall-to-wall music. There's almost no gaps where there isn't music happening in this. Everyone put their heart and soul into it. There's a lot of fun little ditties in it. I don't have
Good
a better word for it.
Good afternoon. That might be one of my favorites.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon's pretty fun. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. Good call, Mike. Did you see this one?
No, I just made that up. Of course I've seen it. I'm not. You think I'm going to bypass a chance to see Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell in the same movie? My gosh.
Okay. So you do subscribe to the Apple TV Plus?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm not trying to start anything, dude. I'm just like, I'm in mourning and I've had more than a couple cups of celebration. So please excuse me, sir. I'm just trying to understand where we are. All right. I'm glad you've seen this. This was a lot of fun, dude. And I'm not trying to spoil anything. But yeah, this is more not necessarily an adaptation of A Christmas Carol or Scrooge or Scrooged or whatever.
Kind of
in fact, Scrooged
spin-off
gets mentioned.
Anything.
I would call it even a sequel. Like the Ghost of Christmas Present is Ebenezer Scrooge. And I don't know why it's a big reveal. Like at one point they're like, "Oh my god, what's he talking about?" And I was like, "Oh, he's clearly fucking Scrooge." All right, it's not a big deal.
The first time I watched it, because I have watched this a couple of times.
Oh, a couple of times! Wow.
So this is one of those. Like, I haven't sat down personally to watch it twice, but I watched it once at home with the wife, and then like a week later, I was at my sister-in-law's, and she was like, "Oh, is this any good?" And I was like, "It is. Put it on." And I watched it with her. So, but yeah, it's
nice.
very good.
Nice.
But no, I the first time I watched it, I was like, I guess I was too engrossed. But yeah, when the big reveal that it was Ebenezer Scrooge, I was like, "What? That's so cool."
All right, good. Well, I hope we didn't spoil anything, anyways. But I thought it was pretty obvious that was what was happening. But maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, the story is there's this group of ghosts, and they spend an entire year trying to fix one soul that actually has like a huge impact on the way the world works. And you know, Sometimes it's just a woman named Karen
That
in a
was
random Chicago subway cul-de-sac. But
that did
sometimes
make
it's
me
also
giggle.
like I thought it was a little too silly that they named her
It's an
Karen. They
easy
could have
joke,
named her
but
anything.
it did make me giggle a little bit.
She was funny. She was like, "You guys are gonna really forgive me after like I did this and I did that and I've been stealing all your packages." Like, oh my god, like
That way, what?
that yeah, that should have got a bigger laugh in the theater, I thought, but it's whatever. So these folks, this one Karen, she affects this entire neighborhood that hard that this group of ghosts had to fix her over the course of a year. They plot it all out. They even choreograph the dance numbers, but they the spirit is there and they want to do the best they can and make this woman the best that she has the potential to be. And on one run, they're going to work on this hotel manager who, yeah, seems like a huge shithead. And then Will Ferrell calls an audible and he sees Ryan Reynolds and he's kind of like a public, he's a motivational speaker, but he definitely has that public influence and he apparently influences everybody.
It's like PR.
And at first they're like, no, we're not going to do that. But then they like, okay, maybe we should do this. And then they do. And they spend the whole year on it. And when they get into it, Ryan Reynolds' game is so strong. He was like, what if the problem isn't me? What if the problem is you guys? What if you're spending too much time worrying about other people when you could be doing anything else? And the the movie is, again, it's a lot of fun. I'm not a huge musical guy, but I was into it the whole time. 2 hours and 7 minutes. I wouldn't cut a single frame out of this. Shit. You want to be stingy? Okay, let's cut 7 minutes out. Let's make it just a nice round 2 hours.
Yeah, I
Otherwise,
can't think of anything in particular that went on too long. I think everything deserved
no.
to be there.
At worst, I thought the romance angle between Will Ferrell and Octavia Spencer was not done sincerely. I thought it was done for comedy. Like, I'm happy with. I want Will Ferrell to fall in love with whoever he wants to fall in love with. But I thought, like, oh, the joke is she's a fat black woman. All right, I guess. Okay, but like Olivia Spencer puts her fucking heart into this. Like at one point, she's like, she sings a song about I can't believe I'm digging up dirt on a fourth grader to ruin his life. Like it's a lot of really well done songs here. I don't know if this is going to be Will Ferrell's next Elf, but this was really good. Um, yeah, if we're talking about this movie in 15 years, I'll be very surprised, but pleasantly surprised. I'm giving it a low 4. I might be giving it a high 3, but I'm giving it a low 4. I really enjoyed it. It's on the Apple TV Plus, and if you like Christmas movies, this was a good one.
Yeah,
Like
I
Fish,
mean,
how do you respond?
I would give it a solid 4 if I'm a little bit higher than you, but I think it definitely. I mean, obviously the actors helping in it to be a stupid thing to say. If it was anyone else, maybe I'd get this. But you know what I'm saying? I think maybe the having Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds in it, and I was huge fans of both of them anyway. Maybe that helped me enjoy it a little bit more. But no, I thought it was very
And they
clever.
don't phone this shit in, dude. Like you see
No,
these, there are some huge set pieces involved in this. Like there's some really long one takes. It's yeah, this was not anything done overnight. This was not done on the cheap. Will Ferrell's always kind of been a song and dance guy. He tries to sneak them in when he can, and yeah, good on you guys.
and before
And
not going to spoil anything for those who haven't seen it yet, but they don't shy away as well from other ways to tug at your heartstrings. This is not all yippee dee dee. We're singing about Christmas. There is a moment which I won't spoil that you are like sitting there smiling and oh, they're all singing and dancing, and then suddenly, wow, that got dark real quick, and it's like, oh Jesus, which it was good because it was a big part of the story, but like, gee, I was not expecting that moment. But yes, it's a very good movie, and it's not like you said, it's not like a almost like a not a side project. What the word I'm trying like they definitely took this to heart. It's a very serious. It's a good movie, well acted, and yeah, I would highly recommend. And I might be listening to some of the songs on Spotify. Who knows? Very good, which I don't do often.
I mean,
I'm like you. I normally, if my wife's like, "Oh, should we watch this movie?" Yeah, sounds good. It's a musical. Why don't you just watch it and tell me if it's any good? Like I normally hate musicals, but this is very good. It's very, very good. And I think this.
I think I'm just getting older, and I'm just like, yeah, I could use some song and dance numbers right now. Okay.
I mean, technically, if you think about it, what Team America World Police, that was a musical. I enjoyed that.
Sure. That's all right.
But
I would definitely put Spirited above Team America.
That'd be an interesting face-off. But no, I think that next year, as long as it's still, I'm assuming it'll still be available on Apple TV Plus. I think this might be coming to my rotation of Christmas movies. Stick it on with Elf, Home Alone, while I'm decorating the Christmas tree. Be nice.
Okay.
Have a little sing song. Have a dance around
I don't
the tree.
know that I have. I don't know that I have a set playlist, if you will, of Christmas movies. Like we just, yeah, like we do a thing on 4th of July. I can usually find a war film or a boxing film on Thanksgiving. But yeah, I don't know what I usually. There's no tradition for Christmas.
It is quite adorable when you get older and you do start realizing without even doing it with intent that you do start having these traditions where like now whenever we go the day we go out, we buy a Christmas tree, a real Christmas tree, we bring it home, set it up and start decorating it, and when we start decorating it we stick on Elf. It's our thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only seen Elf once, and I want to say it was. I don't remember if I saw it on USA or if I did see the DVD, but I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is gonna be immortalized. Like this is a serious Christmas movie.
God damn it! Right there, with Die Hard, that's one of my favorite Christmas movies. Let's not get into that. Right. So check that out. Apple TV Plus from Apple. Check it out. Okay, let's move on to a final segment. Let's get all warm and fuzzy in this week's Feel Good Story of the Week.
It's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
This week's Feel Good Story comes to us from the home state of Mr. Kush Hayes, California.
Oh.
Yay. Now, if you don't know...
Did we boo Elon Musk again?
What? When has Elon Musk ever... I guess the only part of the Feel Good Story to do with Elon Musk is where he's obviously having a total shit show at Twitter, which is quite funny because now he looks like he's going to get done by the local authorities for turning his Twitter offices into sleeping quarters and things like that, which is naughty. But anyway, that's we'll get to that maybe.
I don't know anything about that. But
No.
Anyway. I tried to make it funny and I failed. I'm sorry.
That's why it happens.
It happens. Boy,
So,
it happens.
Los Angeles County Animal Care and Control. Boo? Okay. Well,
Boo Los Angeles.
oh, okay. Well, so you have to get like a permit if you want to have certain animals in your residence, right?
True. Yep.
So,
Same in San Francisco.
does that even count as dogs? Do you need permits to have a dog?
You need a license to have a dog, cats, etc., etc.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mhm.
I don't think that's the case. I hope it's not. Because if not, I've got a legal dog in my house. Anyway, so this young
Well, you're in New
lady
Jersey.
wanted a certain type of animal, and so she thought she would apply for her permit. And she did that
Okay.
through a handwritten letter to
Oh
the Los Angeles County Animal Care, to which they posted
no.
on their Instagram. And the young lady named Madeline wrote the letter, which says, quote, "Dear LA County, I would like your approval if I can have a unicorn in my backyard, if I can find one. Please send me a letter in response." The post said, officials received so much joy from the letter that they decided to respond. "We commend Madeline's sense of responsibility, this responsible pet ownership to seek permission in advance to keep a unicorn in Los Angeles County. As a result, we have issued her a pre-approved unicorn license," the post said. Officials also gave Madeline a stuffed unicorn to wear the license for the time being, as real unicorns are, quote, "indeed very rare to find." The conditions listed in the department's response to Madeline for the license, including the requirements that the unicorn is given regular access to sunlight, moonbeams, and rainbows.
I now have diabetes because of
adorable.
this segment.
Oh. And if you do a little searchy for this story, there is a picture of a stuffed unicorn with a little tag on it saying unicorn license for Madeline. It's like, oh. The only downsides to this is if she somehow does find a unicorn and unicorns turns out to be horrible animals and they're like, fuck.
I mean, they're stabbing everybody with those fucking horns.
Exactly, right?
Whether they mean to or not.
But yeah, that's why I love this segment, because I always try, as as with anything in life, I always try to find a funny thing to say or a quirky thing to say and always ruin it. But this one, I don't know what to say other than that. It's adorable. So shout out, even though Los Angeles is a piece of shit.
Accessible.
But shout out to the Los Angeles County Animal Care and Control for that adorable thing.
They probably get so much bullshit that this was like, the highlight of their month.
Oh yeah.
I've done the civic duty thing with San Francisco, and I've seen a lot of weird handwritten letters. So yeah, this was probably a delightful message to get.
I won't keep a bear. No, you can't have a bear. I tweet that.
I got a letter for a man who had been assassinated 15 years prior to its writing. And I was like, I don't know how to file this. Like, I got
so Ghost wrote you a letter.
Letters for this guy here go here. Letters for this guy go here. Letters for this guy go here. But this man has been dead and violently murdered. I don't know where to put this letter.
Did you hand that letter into the police? It could have had DNA. It could have been his murderer.
No. It was a civic complaint. Clearly, someone did not know that this person had been murdered, assassinated, and they still had a complaint about how the streets were running.
So the letter was to a dead man.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought you received the letter from a dead person. That's why.
No, from a dead person would have been interesting too.
I was going to say
no.
Oh,
I got a letter for
a
dead mayor.
That just goes into Schröter. Or you should have responded. Hey, fuckface. Ooh. You obviously don't pay that much attention since the guy you're writing to has been dead 15 years. So your request is denied.
I was thankfully not in charge of replying to any of these letters. But yeah, I would love to know how that person responded, if they even did. Maybe they just crumpled it up into a ball and threw it in the trash can,
which had one of those novelty basketball hoops around it. That's what I picture. Well, I'm glad we
that was a really good end of feel good story of the week, man. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. But don't Be sad that it's over. Be happy that it happened. Snap a waffle box in the can. In the road. So as we said, next week we've got a very special episode of Waffle Box Not a Strong Start Christmas crossover special. I have no idea how that one's going to go, but I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. So check that out in your podcast or on YouTube next Wednesday. You can follow
Best
me
part of Wednesday.
at OnlyMikeFish on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow this guy
At Kush_Hayes.
And also, don't forget, he creates other podcasts which land on the Boston family. Any good audio for these people to listen to other than this, of course?
Friend of the family, Drew Angelman, comes in and we talk about the best movies of 2022.
Was
That's
that
this
it?
Friday at noon, San Francisco time.
Is that
3 p.m.
microdose?
East Coast time.
Is that a microdose?
That's a microdose.
Check it out. Like for dancing or getting your steps in. But anyway, thanks for just tuning in, whether you're watching, I can see you, or you're listening, I don't judge. Make sure you tell your friends and your family about the show and get them involved. We'll see you next week for our Christmas special. As always, it's been a pleasure. But remember to take care of yourselves and each other.
That's all, folks.